Good morning, internet strangers, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Square Enix realizing that being an exclusive publisher for Sony isn't exactly the best idea. Square Enix is going aggressively multi-platform after a string of PS5 exclusives. This is an article by Polygon. As always, links are going to be in the description down below, and while you're down there, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we're trying to hit 300 subs before the end of the month. And without further ado, let's begin. It sounds like Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth really didn't work out. Now, as a fan of Final Fantasy 16 and as a person who attempted to finish Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, I can definitely say one of the factors of the game not being a huge success is them being only available on PS5. If they had made it like available on the PS5 and also at least on PC, I don't think they would be feeling as disappointed with the revenue they've had so far. I think they should have done a 6-month exclusive like they did with Final Fantasy 7 Remake, have it for 6 months on the PS4, and then after the 6 months, I believe it was available on PC. Square Enix has revealed a new business plan titled Square Enix Reboots and Awakens that will see the publishers aggressively pursue a multi-platform strategy for its biggest games across Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, and Windows PC, which I think is a fantastic idea. If we can just get Final Fantasy 16 on PC, then we could give it the Devil May Cry treatment, add in a bunch of mods. You know that game is going to produce so much content for YouTube and is just going to bring more people interested in the Final Fantasy franchise. You need to get your Sony exclusives onto PC and let the modding community do what the modding community does, which is definitely going to revitalize the game and going to bring a bunch of new people into the franchise. The reason behind why I played so much Devil May Cry, especially Devil May Cry 5, is because I got it on PC. And the PC community and the modding community made the game so much fun, more fun than the game had any business being, and for much longer than I think it was intended, to be fair. While Square Enix has long been active across a wide range of platforms, it has tradition of signing exclusive deals for its biggest releases, typically with Sony. This year's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and last year's Final Fantasy 16 are currently exclusive to PS5, while games like Forspoken and the original FF7 remake have been released across PlayStation and PC. Final Fantasy XIV has only just been seen on Xbox release this past March, over a decade after its debut on PC and PlayStation. Again, it's like I was saying, if you make your games available on PC, you make it readily available for so many more people that don't necessarily have a console. I think PC gaming is significantly more accessible than console gaming, especially with what happened with the chip shortage for the PS5. So on a computer, even if you can't run the game at full specs, you can still run the game at very low specs and still enjoy it, which is why if you want your games to reach a wider audience, the target you should be always aiming for is the PC gamers. The wording of Square Enix's new plan, releases a part of the company's latest financial report, suggests that this strategy will soon be a thing of the past. Square Enix said its goal was to build an environment and where more customers can enjoy our titles, especially regarding major franchises and AAA titles, including catalog titles. The mention of catalog titles suggests that previously exclusive games like FF7 series and Final Fantasy 16 may soon be coming to other platforms. Yes, and 100 times yes. Exclusive games bring nothing beneficial to the consumer. Exclusive games are supposed to be system sellers. As of now, I don't really see many people going out to buy a PS5 for a particular exclusive. I know the year isn't done, but nothing really comes to mind where I'm going, man, I need to buy myself a PS5 so I can play this game. So the sooner that Square Enix and any other company realizes that the consumer doesn't care, most consumers don't care if a game is exclusive to their console or not, and understand that if they're just going to make the game multi-platform, it is going to be way more beneficial in the long run than having a game be exclusive for Sony. Yes, you might get a big fat check in like your first year, but I can definitely tell you that over a long period of time, you will have more people playing your game, talking about it, making videos about it, and ultimately giving you that fat paycheck. The move comes after reports suggest that both FF16 and FF Rebirth underperformed financially. Indeed, in its own report, Square Enix acknowledges a low profitability in what is called the HD games segment, meaning medium to big budget games for console systems and PC, which is alarming to say about the financial year in which these two perceived juggernauts in the company's most famous franchise were released. Also, we need to take into consideration the previous couple of years and what they're exactly comparing themselves to. If they're comparing their financial profit to the vid era of financial profit, obviously people were stuck at home playing video games all day, so they didn't really have a choice, and that was probably the most profitable couple of years for any gaming company. So if they are comparing themselves to that, then obviously they're not even close. Games are costing more and more to make. Example, Spider-Man 2 costs over $300 million to make, and if you're just gonna have it on one system, you better pray that enough people are gonna buy that game so that you can recuperate the losses or recuperate your investment. And as things are looking right now, it seems like the games are costing way more to make than they can ever make back by selling it exclusively on PlayStation. Of course, Square Enix is not the only company wondering if platform exclusivity can work at all at scale anymore. Xbox has begun a controversial shift towards publishing its games on rival console platforms, while Sony is in the process of discovering the huge audience as well as the potential pitfall that it can find a multi-platform publisher with Helldivers 2. Square Enix language about finding a wider audience for its games echoes that used by Microsoft to defend its own decisions. I don't really see any pitfalls for having the game be multi-platform, except for the possibility that someone already has an Xbox, they're not gonna buy a PS5 to play a specific game. But generally speaking, I think if you have one or the other, it's very rare that you're gonna go buy an entire other console to play one, maybe two games. And with how dry the exclusives for Sony has been, having one or two extra exclusives isn't gonna change people's minds. Other points in Square Enix plans, which covers the period from now through March 2027, include a shift from quantity to quality. From a publisher that has been known to flood the market with smaller releases, quality great of course, but the plan to regularly release AAA titles in Square Enix major franchises sounds a little like the request aversion into quality that has set in a very major game publisher. Square Enix said it had cancelled several games that did not fit its new strategy. Yeah, I definitely want quality over quantity. You guys also have to remember, not every game you guys publish has to cost $300 million. You don't have to. I do not care if the irises of my character moves. That's not something I really care about. Is it nice? Yes. It's really nice. It's great for immersion, but let's think of Spider-Man 2 once again. 90% of the game, your character's wearing a mask. Why do I need his irises to move? Let's think about it that way. In addition, Square Enix said that it aims to concentrate on its in-house development and restructures its internal studios, or business unit, to be more integrated, suggesting that the company's long era of fiefdom, led by powerful individual producers with big personalities, may be coming to an end. Good. Reports have suggested that the current setup can be disorganized and frustrating for employees, but there's no doubt that it also leads to games with a strong personal flavor. Whether or not Square Enix can keep the balance between the creative of the individual employees and the management centered on the organization, as it says it intends to do, will be key. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. I think studios need to stop trying to constantly expand and grow. Sometimes I think it's a good idea for a studio like, hey, let's take a year, let's focus on our in-house, let's stop trying to expand and make sure all of our bases are covered first. And then let's expand in 2 years. You know, but with the whole growth mindset and the capitalistic mindset and every year has to beat the previous year, I guess we're probably not going to be seeing that anytime soon. Overall, the business plan paints a picture of companies in crisis mode seeking to reboot itself, and a game industry where AAA budgets and platforms exclusivity just don't mix anymore. Bloomberg journalist Takashi Mochizuki offered some context based on comments suppressed by Square Enix presidents Takashi Kiryu confirmed that both FF16 and FF7 Rebirth fell short other sales, expecting as did Foamstar, another PS5 exclusive. Kiryu also reiterated a need to find a balance between individual creativity and organizational discipline. Well, there you have it, folks. Square Enix is going to be going multi-platform. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, be sure to hit like, share, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're trying to hit 300 subs before the end of the month. We are so close. We're currently at 263. And you definitely want to be part of the first 300, not the second 300. And if you don't want to help, well, remember, at the end of the day, I'm just some guy on the internet. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. If you want to see more of my face, be sure to click the video you see on screen right now.